everybody, welcome back. So I'm sure you can tell we have an Antland. We named him Riva, the Great Riva. I'll give a point for that reference. Hey, for once his name is not related to food, because my first instinct was to name him Taco, and we did not do that.
Wait, I usually go for the Riva sushi whenever I go out to get sushi.
So anyways, we actually discussed this for a little while on what to get, and we decided to do an Antland. Because originally we were going to run straight to Ripper because we wanted to replace a speedy monster with another speedy monster, but we remembered that Antlands are not in Monster Rancher 5 or EVO or whatever you want to call it. So we're definitely going to be doing Rippers when we get back to EVO. And so I really wanted to do a monster that we won't be able to do once we get past this game. So that's why we chose Antland. To be fair, I've never had an Antland before. I have on the Game Boy version, but I don't remember much. So we looked at their stats. And it looks like they can go either way, power or intelligence. And we're going to go the power route for him. And I know he's got part Suezo in him, but that actually should help his speed by having some Suezo in him. But we also thought he looked really cool.
I mean, seriously, he has an eye on his head.
He's got 2 power moves. Which is good. And let's see, he's got Fire Punch, which is good, and Whirlwind. So he's got a far range and a mid range already. And I think he even has he has Sniper. For some reason I thought he had a different that was the one that was part Raiden had a different one. So we don't know. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep Sniper, but he just likes battle. Sorry. So anyways, I don't really know much about Antland, so you guys are welcome to chime in and help us raise him, because I'm sure we're probably not going to be getting too far ahead in recordings. Because, I didn't even know that suzerains were defense types until you guys corrected me on that, so... Anyways, schedule! We are going to start training him in power. Actually, no, I didn't mean to do that. Let me see something real quick. How much... Okay. Actually, I'm going to train him in life to get him over 100 first, and then do some power, because he should have enough accuracy to get him going at first. So let's do life real quick. We'll kick Calb off the normal one for now. And then... excuse me. Let's see. We'll do rest. Tub and rest. Okay. Oh wow, 87.
Not bad.
He's off to a good start. Oh,
they
I
usually
like that.
get off to a good start, it seems like, and then they kind of maybe do okay, maybe don't.
Oh my gosh, that's messing with me. It's not going equal on both sides. It's like switching back and forth. Hey Riva, good job.
Are you sure it's not just like an optical illusion? Kind of like that pencil thing,
It could be. Yeah! Alright, what kind of food do you like to eat? Oh, you like beef and honey toast. I like this. His top 3 favorites are beef, toast, and cake. That doesn't even make sense.
A monster after my own heart.
Beef, toast, and cake. Alright, I got some carrots for you, Calb. I had totally forgotten I was working on a crochet pattern for Calb. I bet I could totally do it by now. My crochet is really coming along. In fact, I actually did a Zakura doll. I got the pattern online, but it looks really awesome. I might show a picture of it, but I was really proud of that one. And that's from My Little Pony, if anyone's wondering. Let's see here. And I made a hat. It was a polar bear hat. Let's see. Graham. Oh, I see. Or Gary, you moved back. I see how it is. You just wanted to trick me that one time, huh?
Yeah, he's just changing things up, see what works, see what doesn't work.
I'm debating about how fast I want to go and bring Riva into the jungle. Because if we bring him as early as we can, he's going to start getting moves very early. And And I don't want to wait. I was thinking of doing a couple weeks of training, but now that I think about it, there's no real need to wait a couple weeks. I guess we can just go ahead and do it now, assuming everyone's good to go. Let's see, adventure to the jungle. Okay, so Calb isn't too tired, so we'll bring Calb. Let's see here. Galleon can go into holes and up. I think he can go up towers.
What can Riva do?
I have no idea. Nothing at the moment because he needs to learn the skill. I don't know if I want to bring Gary or Galleon. Let's bring... just in case there's a boss fight, I'm going to bring Gary, and we'll bring Riva.
I was going to say, plus, Gary can get into the water, can't he?
He can, yeah. I know Riva won't be able to go in the water, but Riva might be able to go in holes once he gets the skill. So I'm not going to bring him into a fight right away, but he's still going to get half experience for being here, so he should gain at least a couple levels. Alright, game, come on. I don't know why I'm I was gonna say, I don't know why I'm bothering to check the starting room, there's nothing in the starting room.
Well, there's always a random encounter if you walk around for long enough, you know?
Sorry, I just had this moment of like, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't mute my microphone by accident. I was checking my microphone.
Not that that has ever happened before.
Yeah, I know.
At least not this month. So back on the topic of the Olympics from the last recording. So we were looking into the antennas and stuff like that as a possibility instead of Sling TV after we were disappointed with Sling TV.
Yeah.
And there was this Kickstarter project that went live sometime in the last week, and it's basically one of those like newfangled antennas that they have. That's like the flat antenna. So you can like put it on a window or put it on a wall. It's one of those, and then it combines with that a DVR. And then in addition to that, it combines Wi-Fi capabilities. So you don't actually hook it up to your TV. Instead, you just put it on your network, and then there's an app. And the app just goes like on your Roku or Apple TV or iPad or whatever, and you can watch the TV from anywhere in your house.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, what in the world? How come nobody's invented this thing yet? This is amazing. And so, yeah, Kickstarter project. Yay. So we immediately signed up for it, of course, because we figured, well, we got 30 days to back out anyway if we want to. And then I was like, well, let me look into this a little bit more, see what else is about, see what else is out there. Turns out there's been products like this for like 5 years already. This is just the new entrant in the block, and I'm like, oh man. And the other ones are all like way better and offer more features, and you know, they actually have like stability and stuff like that. Their companies have been around for a while, so I'm like, okay. So we pulled our pledge, and we'll consider looking at one of those other ones instead.
Get off? I can't get off Calb. Why not?
Because you were still on
There we go.
thorny ground?
I guess so. It was weird. Yeah, I actually wasn't thinking of signing up for TV when I moved here because, well, I was going to get the very basic just so I could watch the Olympics, but I was so limited on who I could get internet from, and it ended up being cheaper to get it with cable. So I don't have anyone that can go in there. I ended up having TV, but I don't actually have many channels, but I don't really... I ended up actually getting Hulu recently because there's all this stuff I wanted to watch on Hulu, and I was like, you know, I already have Netflix, which is good. I really enjoy Netflix, and I already had Amazon because of Amazon Prime. But now because of Hulu, I'm like, I never watch TV. And even with the Olympics, I didn't watch TV. The only thing we watched on TV for the Olympics was the opening ceremony. Dang it! I don't have anyone that can dig right now.
Yeah, we tried out Hulu for a week with the paid subscription, and
Yeah.
and there was like 2 shows that we really wanted to watch, and the rest were like, eh. The fact that we still had to watch commercials made it kind of a...
Yeah, I hated Hulu because of that, because like, oh my gosh, you're paying. Well, when I checked it out, they sent me an email, And 'cause I had like a free trial like years ago, so I was getting emails, and they're like, "Oh, we just now started offering a commercial-free version of the subscription," and that's what I have now.
Yeah, we considered that, and then we were just like, are there enough shows to justify it? And we kind of looked at the show offerings, and we were like, they're not bad, but for how much they're asking, it's not worth it to us. But
Yeah.
we definitely can, like, for a lot of people, it would hit the mark. Although, have you heard that they're dropping the free option now?
No.
They are. Like, I think it's as of this month, in fact. They sold all the free subscriptions, their free accounts basically to Yahoo. It's going to be like Yahoo something or others is the new product.
Yeah, all that stuff's starting to get kind of confusing and frustrating. It's just too much. Speaking of confusing and frustrating, though, when we moved here to Monterey, we learned very quickly that we have no cell phone reception out here.
What?
Yeah, because of where we're located, there are no cell phone towers nearby. In fact, it was so bad, until we had internet, we had to actually drive out to Target to make phone calls.
What?
And so now we have like a little micro cell thing that connects to my Wi-Fi, and I can make phone calls using my cell phone. But the funny thing is, I've had the hardest time getting someone out here to connect a landline, because I was like, well, this is annoying because I have to use this box, and that means if anyone wants to make calls in my house, they have to use my phone, because you can only connect so many numbers to the little box, and that way people don't steal your reception. And it's just funny because my mom and my sister came to visit me, and my sister kept trying to use her phone for stuff. She goes, I have no connection. I'm like, I keep telling you this. Stop trying to use it. But yeah, it's been interesting having, and then like my car, when we were driving here, my car has internet. And so we ended up having to rely on my car's internet a lot during the trip because I maxed out my data usage on my phone. So we found out that my car was so fancy you could stream YouTube videos through it. So we were listening to YouTube, like we were listening to Let's Plays when we were driving. It was awesome.
So I remember when I first went to college, cell phones were, they've been around for 2 decades at that point, but
well, yeah, but nobody used them for anything.
Exactly. Like when I went to college, I didn't have a cell phone. I had a calling card, and I could go to any of the payphones on campus and use the calling card. And then, like, after my first semester, we got a landline in the room, but I still had to use a calling card to call out. Anyway, I remember a couple of my friends, though, had cell phones, and the cell phone reception was not so good in the Bryan College Station area. And so I remember there was one guy in his dorm, the only way he'd get reception was by getting on top of one of his bookshelves. And so he had actually mastered balancing on top of a bookshelf with his head leaning off of it. and his head the cell phone had to be on the side aiming towards the window. But it was very specific. Like, he couldn't just stand in front of the window. He had to be not only at the window but up high, and so meant on top of the bookshelf. For me, I remember, like, the second apartment I lived in got no reception in the apartment, and so I used to talk to my mom on a weekly basis. And so I used to have to know, okay, we're going to talk at 4 o'clock, like we do every week. I need to go outside on this side of the apartment building at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when the call is going to be on. And it was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I have to stand on one of the sides of the building to be able to get reception, and I can't stand on the other side. And this is like a 2-story building. This is not like a skyscraper.
I remember when I first got my first cell phone, I was in high school, and my mom bought it for me. So when I was learning to drive, I could call her if there was a problem. And I looked at her and I go, this has got to be the most useless invention ever. If I need to call you, I'll just go to the school office. Because back then, it made so much sense. I'll just go to the office and use the phone. And it's funny how I felt so strongly about it. I'm like, this has got to be the most stupid, pointless thing anyone's ever invented. And man, have I eaten those words. Because it's like, people don't even use landlines anymore. I tried to have one for my work, and I just could not get anyone to install one that didn't use my internet. And I was just like, but I don't want to use the internet. The whole point of a landline is so if anything goes out, I still have a landline.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, but it's so much faster. And I'm like, no, I don't really care. So, yeah. It's funny how cell phones have changed so drastically even in our own lifetimes.
Well, so I remember when I got my first one, my parents got it for me. Same type of reason as what you're talking about. I had a summer internship during college, and they wanted me to have some way to call home in case an emergency happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember they gave it to me, and it was a decent one for the time. And I just remember looking at it and getting it set up. I'm sitting there in this chair. I'm just thinking to myself, this thing is so obtuse and confusing to use. Like, it's such a horrible design. Like, you have to press like the call button to like do OK, and then you hit to power on the device. You have to hit the hang up button and hold it for 3 seconds. And it's like, why do you have to hang up for 3 seconds to turn on the phone? Like, it doesn't make any, just all these bizarre things you had to do and like memorize to make this thing work. I kid you not, day one of my first stuff, and I thought to myself, you know what? I bet Apple could do this really well.
I remember thinking the first time I got my phone, I was like, it's blue! I'm surprised it comes in any color besides ugly cream.
Beige or gray.
Beige, yeah. And I remember my mom even paid extra to get it to. It wasn't totally blue, but it was awesome. I still remember what it looked like. It wasn't a flip phone because those weren't invented yet, but well, if they were, then they were like super expensive. But
I actually so you gave me one of your phones when we were in college.
Was it the blue one?
It was a blue flip phone.
Oh, that was the Motorola. That was the Razr, wasn't it? The Razr was like the thing back then.
No, it wasn't a Razr. It was
okay.
It was, I believe it was Motorola, but it was not a Razr. But
okay, yeah, I had a Razr at one point, and it might be the one I had after that blue one I gave you.
I think so. Yeah, I think you upgraded to the Razr. Anyway, but it was the same model I had. Like it was like a model year newer than the one I had. But I managed to. I can't remember what I did. Like I cracked mine or something like that. And I was still using it, but you were like, "No, here, use this."
Oh yeah.
But
I'd forgotten about that. Oh yay, we could finally use it.
But it was a special one because it wasn't just blue. It was Suikoden blue.
Yeah, it was. I think so was my first one actually. Was that Suikoden navy blue?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I actually found it not too long ago. I was digging around in some old boxes and it came up and I was like, oh wow. That brings back memories.
You guys have no idea how addicted I was this weekend for so long. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many times I priced and actually tried to get someone to make it an entire like sticker or like car decal for my car to be covered in Suikoden characters. I even had it drawn out and designed and everything. It was going to be for my Honda Element when I finally saved the money up, and my mom said she'd kill me if I did that to the Honda Element.
Mind you, it was a Suikoden blue Honda Element.
It was, yeah, and we took a lot of effort to get that Suikoden blue Honda Element. But
well, keep in mind, you also investigated the possibility of doing a custom dye or a custom dye just for your wedding for all the suits and dresses.
I was going to do that, yeah.
And it ended up being both too expensive and too difficult to do the custom dye job to get it all done for everybody.
There was a lot of things in my wedding I wanted to do, and everyone outvoted me. Like, I remember the one I was the most upset about was I wanted a specific type of tux for the guys to wear, and they all looked at me like, please, no. And I felt like so guilty I finally said no, but I really was upset about that.
I have no recollection of that. I do remember that you got the Suikoden blue vests for us to wear.
Yes, but I think you were the last person I asked about the tux because everyone else was already upset by that point. I wanted the long-tailed tux.
That's right. I remember that now.
And everyone was like, but it's more expensive and they're hot and they're ugly. And I'm like, no, they're not. Not in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, they are a bit older-fashioned at this point. So.
And I was really upset about that. But at the same time, I didn't want people to be miserable at my wedding. And I was just like, all right, fine. I gave in. And I didn't even pick it. My sister picked them because by that point I was so upset I didn't want to pick. So.
Well, but you had a lot of good thought in there for your wedding party. Like you had with the vests, or no, with the vests. They were actual vests, not just like faux front vests.
Yeah,
and
because that's what y'all wanted. So
well, but the benefit of that was that by being an actual vest as opposed to like just like a fake vest that would look good for pictures, it meant that the guys could take their jackets off after the wedding was done and stay cool, as opposed to being like forced to keep their jacket on because they would have like a fake back to the vest.
Yeah, that's what you told me. That's why we went that direction because we had our wedding on a cruise ship, so we didn't know what the temperature was going to be like. You mentioned that, so I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's a good idea.
I didn't realize I was responsible for that. You figured that out on your own.
No, you told me that.
Oh, I had no recollection of that. Cool. Yay for me.
Well, so I'm sure, but I've already told everybody that yes, I have been married 6-7 years. Helper, how long have you been married? Coming up 8. Yeah, see, I'm terrible with remembering things. He was actually Helper was actually unavailable for the entire time I was playing the wedding. He just like showed up to the wedding. So yeah, Icon ended up helping me with a lot of it, so
Well, not only that, but I got to walk the ugliest bridesmaid ever down the aisle.
Oh, Figment's not ugly. So, I haven't talked about this because I haven't ever talked about my wedding. So, when I was 7 years old, we were at Disney World, my family, which is my mom, my dad, my sister, and we were at Epcot, and I saw Figment. It was the first time I remember Figment. Now, I think he was around longer than that, but I wanted a Figment doll.
You need to explain Figment.
Oh, so for anyone who hasn't been to Disney World, it's more than, because Magic Kingdom is Disneyland, and so Disney World has Epcot and other places, but in Epcot there's a ride called
Imagination Station.
Well, that's part of it. Journey into the Imagination was the original name of the ride, and
but
it was
they're all
about.
gone now.
Well, no, it's been rebuilt several times.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, and so the whole point of the ride was, it was the professor, and he had this machine, and he, I know the song, but I'm not going to sing it. He invented a figment of his imagination by mixing all these things together. I will not torture you all by singing the song. And and so, anyways, I was captivated by Figment. It was this little purple dragon that he created. And the whole ride was going through Figment and his imagination, and I freaking love Figment. And he's my favorite Disney character by far, and I wanted a Figment doll so bad. And so the rule with my family when we were younger was we couldn't buy anything and then carry it around the park. We would buy it at the end of the day. So my dad gave me a pen. He goes, well, mark which Figment doll you want, get it by the end of the day. So it's also his tactic to try to get us to forget about buying something. And I'll finish the story real quick. And so anyways, so when I bought the doll, it was $24, and my dad looked at me and he goes, that is the biggest waste of money you'll ever spend. And so to prove him wrong, I have had Figment with me all the time ever since then. He's been to college, he's been everywhere, and so I wanted to make sure he was in my wedding, just to be a butt. And so we actually sent him to a doll hospital to be fixed up because he was very old by that point. And we even custom made him a tux for the wedding. And he was in the wedding. Icon actually walked down the aisle with them instead of walking down with one of the bridesmaids. And he was in all the wedding pictures. And I didn't know this at the time, but he actually, after the wedding, some of the members of my wedding party took him around the ship. And I even have a picture of Figment with the captain. And I don't even know when that happened. But apparently I got several pictures of him around the ship and at the bar and all this. And he had a grand old time. But yes, it was a lot of people questioned me about that one.
I thought it made perfect sense, and plus, I thought it was beneficial for him because he didn't get to come with you to graduation.
He was there.
No, I thought your dad made you put him down right before graduation.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't carry him across the stage, and I was gonna bring him in with me, and he caught me, and so he was up in my dad was actually, my dad wasn't holding. My mom was holding him during my graduation because he got all upset with me. Anyways, oh my goodness gracious, is this a guy or a girl?
Yeah, we'll go with guy, I guess.
I kind of want to voice him with a guy voice, but I'm not going to do him justice. I don't know.
Okay, I guess we'll see how I do. You coach me on this.
Okay.
Well, what is all the fuss you're making?
I like that.
You! So it was you, Nazini, who sent the letter about monster alteration to the association. Why did you ever do such a thing? Why?
Oh my goodness, his face.
Well, of course it was out of love for Fimba. In fact, is there any good reason that my wonderful technology should not be used on monsters?
Whoa.
Every monster alteration is an expression of my love. Of course, there were those who didn't understand my love and ran off.
You mean Dawn? You can't mean what you say. And for anyone who's forgotten, Dawn was that monster we met way, way, way back. He was the Gaboo.
Why? How can you dare attack me? Oh, I don't even care. Why, words are obviously wasted on the likes of you. Nazini, too! Take care of these jokers!
Ooh, is it a Joker?
Watch out, Rio! Get back! I like how he narcissistically named his monster Narzini, too.
I know, instead of Narzini Jr.
Or Nazini, not Narzini, sorry.
Sorry, you made me... Oh, it's a Zan!
Of course it is. The traditional villain monster.
I like how it's Nazini 2A. You know, if I was smart, I would have brought in Riva just to get the free experience, but I didn't want to take the risk. Ah! Almost leveled.
Why did he lose? My sweet Nazini 2, who I created with the technology in this book. Book? Don't tell me that's the Tome of Black Arts. Hey, but it's different than the one from the school. Hey, you! I thought you stole that from the LV school. Huh? What are you talking about? I found this book in the jungle, stupid! But I'm talking about love! My lovely Nazini 2! What am I going to do now?
That monster looked almost happy when it was defeated. It showed its joy at being emancipated from the artificial existence that it was given.
No! That can't be! I provided it with so much love and caring.
True love doesn't ignore the wishes of its subject. You took away that monster's free will.
So you're trying to say I was wrong? That's what you're saying, isn't it, little girl? Our friend's monsters were altered. You have to return them to normal. That's what we're trying to say. Please, Nazini. Friends? How nice caring for one another. Like mutual love. No stealing. Nothing forced. Love!
I feel like he's gonna break out in a Beatles song at any moment.
Okay, I'll do it. But I want you to make one promise. If you use this, you can regenerate Zan. Please. Someday regenerate it. And provide it with true love.
I like how it shows it for like a split second.
Nazini, I understand. We promise you.
I was totally dyslexic, and I thought he said, "I understand. We love you." There's so much love going around.
Okay, I'll go to the Monster Association later, but please go home for today. The reason is, I don't want to cry in front of you.
Even though you already have like 4 times. Let's go, Icon. This guy is creeping me out.
Seriously.
So is he just walking around the jungle and found a book and like, yeah, sure, let's do what's in this book?
I mean, it works for me.
It's kind of like if you were walking around the jungle and you saw, oh, look, a book to make kites. Let's make a kite, you know?
I mean, that's how I became a computer scientist. I was walking around a jungle one day, and then I found the art of computer programming, read it from front to back, and bam, I'm suddenly a computer programmer.
Oh, I was wondering how you got so good so quick.
Hello, everything going well, Icon? And hi, Rio. Deal, I'm doing fine. How about you? You went back to Torble, right? My secret's out.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Yes, but Torble's suffering from something traumatic right now. What is going on over there?
I'm just trying to picture you walking around in the jungle and you just sit down and start reading this book you found. Alright, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Everything I learned about software, I learned from the jungle.
Alright.
Yes, but Torble's having some real trouble right now. In fact, the whole of Bubalook Island is... Oh, is. End of sentence.
Trouble in Torble? What's going on?
I assume you've heard about the rash of stray monsters on Bubalook Island, right? Well, they've banded together, forming an army called the Stray Cats, and they're attacking people! Oh boy, unless we do something, a war might start between humans and stray monsters!
What? Humans and monsters hating each other? That's wrong!
Nazini knows something about that.
Because, you know, hate between anyone else is okay. A war, if killing begins, this world might once again fall into a dark age. It must be stopped.
It'll be okay, Rio. I'll talk to my dad, and he'll make sure there's no fighting. I hope.
You hope? Hope is not enough for something so important.
Calm down. Things will turn out okay, I promise. But wait, there's more. The stray monsters seem to be operating out of Korea Volcano, and this has me worried.
Yeah, me too.
Because Wit took a black book with him to Korea Volcano. A black book? The Tome of Black Arts! But what in the world is he up to?
How do you know it's that one? There could have been a book about the color black.
No, you can judge a book by its cover. But boom! I haven't the slightest idea. Oh boy, this is just not my day.
We're in a crazy mood today.
Anyway, be very careful when you come to Torbil. Well then, goodbye.
Goodbye, Teal.
Korea Volcano, huh? We've got to rush there and find Wit.
I remember this dungeon, and that's never a good thing.
Dungeon.
Dungeon. Alright, I think we have time for a little bit more training.
Just a little bit. We're like a half hour in at this point, so.
Oh, well, I'll at least set them up for next week, and...
You know, it is kind of fun, though, to be able to talk about, like, the fact that you're married on the recording, now that you're public about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are all these great stories I have to tell about you two, and I've been keeping it back. Like, it isn't... Man, you know, how much longer do we have in this video? Because I think we can fit in all of them before the end of the video. What do you think?
We're not that interesting. Let's see here. There was something... Oh, that's right. I kind of was just skipping through stuff he learned, so I want to go back and check it out. So, we learned Smoke Bomb, which is a short-range intelligence move. Strangely, it has no added effects, which always kind of surprised me. You'd think it would, like, lower a bunch of guts or something. I don't know. And then we also learned Scissors, which is actually pretty... Excuse me, I knew that yawn was coming. It's not that bad because it's got good life damage and a decent accuracy rate. I mean, it's not E, so that makes me happy. So, I'm gonna go ahead and put Smoke Bomb in the front just because it's our only front move. Which is better? Scissors? Oh, they're the same. Okay, what abilities do we have? We have Sniper, Head moves, Claw moves, and... Oh, we got Dirt Search. Should have paid attention to that. Added effect of Palsy. So even though they have the same general stats, I'm gonna keep that one as the main one because of the added effects. So does he still hate battle? Yeah. But he's cool, man. He's cool.
He's good in our book.
Oh, yes. And he came from our book, haha. Anyways,
yeah.
So
it's
we'll
not
see...
it's not a black covered book, though.
No! We'll see you guys next time. We're gonna do a little bit more training before we go into the volcano, so I doubt it's gonna be the next video when we go into the volcano, but... See you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.